interested for your reaction to the events of last night and the much calmer situation across the capital and across the UK.
Well, I want to again thank the Met Police Service, all those officers who worked heroically, not just over the last 24 hours, but over the last couple of weeks, making sure Londoners are safe. But also to thank those Londoners, thousands of whom came out yesterday to show we're a city united. There were Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Sikhs, those members of an organised faith, those that weren't black and white, coming together, united, say no to racism, no to anti-Semitism, no to Islamophobia, no to hatred.
What insights can you give? You mentioned there are thousands of officers. What insights can you give to the scale of the response and the officers who were deployed?
Well, unfortunately, it is the case that many Londoners were alarmed, distressed and scared over the course of not just yesterday, but the last few days. They've seen some of the messages on social media in relation to places that would be targeted by the far right. Many people yesterday decided to stay at home. Many people were sent home early, they worked from home. And it was a really scary day for Londoners yesterday. What you saw from the police was a fantastic response, visible police presence in those parts of London where there was a concern for reasons of intelligence. You saw police officers making sure those communities didn't feel cowed, didn't feel scared. Those who were going to the mosques, those who were going to law centres, those who were going to lawyers, those who were going to community centres, could see police officers there making sure they felt safe and were safe. But also you saw Londoners coming out in their tens of thousands across our city saying no. In this great city of ours, our diversity is a strength, not a weakness. We will not allow what we've seen across the country happening in our capital city.
What will you do going forwards to ensure that doesn't happen? Because there have been days of protests across the UK. There's been one night of relative calm, but there's nothing to say that it won't return. So what are you going to do? What can you do to reassure Londoners that there will not be the scenes that we saw outside Downing Street, for example, earlier in the week?
Well, I'm in regular contact with Sir Mark Rowley, who's doing a great job making sure our police officers have the support they need. Yesterday, 1,000 police officers were tasked just to make sure our communities were safe, on top of the normal policing work they've got to do day in, day out. The other thing we've all got to recognise is, in addition to the normal dangers our police officers face, they're well aware from what they've seen in the last week or so across the country, including Whitehall, that they face personal danger and you know, they're at personal risk by trying to keep us safe. So Londoners will continue to see additional police officers across our city, particularly those communities where there's a concern that the far right might target them. I'd encourage all Londoners to please make sure you rely upon those sources of information that are reliable and trustworthy, because we do know there's a lot of misinformation, we do know there's a lot of disinformation, and we also do know that these far-right groups are deliberately trying to scare and alarm us, and we shouldn't allow them to cower us.
You don't need me to tell you that there has been criticism of yourself and the Metropolitan Police with regards to perceptions around policing events. How do you respond to those critics?
Well, I'm somebody who is incredibly proud to be the Police and Crime Commissioner, who's worked with a number of commissioners over the last 8.5 years. I've seen for myself how the police without fear or favour. The police can't get involved in what their views are on a particular march or a protest. Their job is to make sure they enforce the law. It is really important that the police have operational independence. I can't tell the police who to arrest, how many officers to have at a march, who should be prosecuted. That's a job for the independent police and also the independent Crown Prosecution Service. I want to reassure Londoners that as long as I'm the Mayor and as long as Sir Mark is the Commissioner, they will continue to police without fear or favour. And surely that's the right way for the police to police in a democracy. Just imagine if a politician could tell the police how to take charge of operational matters, tell the police who to arrest, tell the police who to charge. What's next? Telling a judge the sentence they should give.
Two just additional questions for you, if I may. The Tory leadership contender, Robert Jenrick, speaking to Sky News earlier this week, I'm just going to give you his quote directly. You know, I thought it was quite wrong that somebody could shout Allahu Akbar on the streets of London and not be immediately arrested, or project genocidal chants onto Big Ben and that person not be immediately arrested. That attitude is wrong. What do you make of his comments?
I'm astonished. Somebody aspiring to be the leader of the Conservative Party somebody aspiring one day to be the Prime Minister could show the ignorance he has shown with his comments. I hope he'll reflect and change his mind and apologise.
And just briefly as well, the situation in Vienna with regards to the Taylor Swift concert, concerns there from the authorities in Austria of a potential terrorism plot. Obviously, Taylor Swift planning to perform in London in due course. What is the status with regards to that, and what are you doing around that event? Is your plans changing at all?
Look, we are a capital city, we are an international city on a regular basis. We host major events, whether it's concerts. Bruce Springsteen was most recently at Wembley Stadium. We're looking forward to welcoming Taylor Swift back. I'm currently at Stamford Bridge. Every other week there's a game taking place here. We've got a huge amount of experience in policing these events. We're never complacent. Many lessons were learned after the awful Manchester Arena attack. The police work really closely, not just with City Hall and with councils, but also with those who host concerts like the Taylor Swift concert coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure Vienna's got its own reasons for deciding to cancel the Taylor Swift concerts. We're going to carry on working closely with police, ensuring that the Taylor Swift concerts can take place in London safely.